Welcome to Sir Betterment, where we bring you financial, motivating, and betterment knowledge. In this video, we'll talk about 5 bad spending habits and how to control it. So without further ado, let's get into it. As the old saying goes, we are what we repeatedly do. When it comes to spending your hard-earned money, your habits can make the difference between reaching your financial goals or living paycheck to paycheck. It's not enough to want to improve your financial situation. You also need to change habits that are preventing you from being successful and nurture better habits that will make it possible to affect permanent change. That's why, in this video, we listed 5 bad spending habits and ways to control them, so you can identify what bad habits you have and replace them with new ones to help you optimize your spending. 5 bad spending habits that you need to break. Number 1. Failing to budget and keep track of expenses. In order to manage your own money wisely, you need a strategy. Simply said, if you don't have a budget, you won't have your financial situation under control. When you budget, you'll give every dollar a purpose. You shouldn't spend anything you haven't budgeted for in advance. Part of making a budget is figuring out how much money you make and writing down how you plan to spend that money. Yet, keeping track of your expenditures is just as important. The only way to determine whether your budget is effective or where to make strategic changes is to keep track of every dollar you spend. Number 2. Spending too much on things. The number one form of overspending is paying too much for something. There are many examples of overpaying, such as buying something at a convenience shop when purchasing it at the grocery store is far cheaper. If you've resolved to improve your spending habits, it's time to sacrifice convenience and be more practical. There are other, less obvious ways to overspend that you might not even notice. If you go all across town to get a few cents off on products, are you truly saving money? The costs of your time, gas, and mileage on your car might make it a loss. Doing some research on when and where to go to get the greatest prices without having to travel all over town is an important part of creating a spending plan. Buying cheap things instead of quality ones might also cost you more in the long run. For instance, if you purchase cheap items like clothes and shoes, you may pay more to replace them than if you invested more money in higher quality items. Buying an inexpensive car that needs constant maintenance might cost you more in the long run than paying more upfront for something reliable. This is why it's so important to keep tabs on your expenses. If you find that your efforts to save money end up costing you more over time, you should reconsider your strategy. Number 3. Spending money you don't have. Planning ahead is essential if you want to use your credit to avoid carrying debts from one month to the next. Using a credit card has benefits such as making purchases faster and easier, reducing the risk of fraud, and maintaining better financial records. But using credit does not have to mean carrying debt. The disadvantages outweigh the advantages of utilizing credit if you don't pay off your monthly amounts. A significant contributor to a financial crisis is spending money you don't have. If you have a habit of spending more money than you have, you should either put your credit cards through a shredder or keep them frozen in a block of ice. Likewise, if you've saved your credit card details at any online stores, delete them. Having them on hand makes it easy to add products to your cart and check out without any thought. Number 4. Spending too much on personal habits. To put it bluntly, not everything is worthy of your hard-earned cash. If you have personal habits that are costing you a lot of money, you might need to make some changes in that area as you take control of your finances. But that doesn't mean you should put restrictions on your lifestyle to the point it makes you miserable. If spending time with others is vital to your well-being, you must be able to set aside money each week to do so. Eating in restaurants rather than preparing meals at home is another common practice that hinders your financial growth. Going out to eat will always cost more than cooking at home. Number 5. Ignoring debts. Unfortunately, ignoring your debts won't make them go away and might snowball into a much bigger problem. When debt collectors call, it's important to take their calls. Open your monthly bills when they arrive. Don't just throw them away. You are asking for trouble if you constantly ignore your bills from your credit card. You should make it a practice to deal with your debt whenever it arises. If you don't like debts or creditors calling you nonstop, maybe you shouldn't have bought that iPhone that is way out of your budget. The first step in solving the problem is stopping your wasteful spending. You'll also need to create new, better, long-term habits to achieve financial freedom. Now that we know some of the bad spending habits, here are 5 ways to control bad spending habits. Number 1. Plan and budget for every dollar you spend. Keep in mind that planning is the key to a successful budget. Make a detailed spending strategy and plan for every dollar you have. Don't allow yourself to spend money on items you didn't budget to avoid impulse buying. Even if you want a small, funny money, you still have to plan and budget that money. Hence, even if you can't afford to set aside 5% of your budget for any unforeseen expenses, you still need to stick to your spending limit. Always keep tabs on your progress so you can make that required changes as you go. You may tighten your belt and adjust your monthly budget if you realize that you are spending too much money on a certain item or category. Your budget shouldn't be static. It should often change as your circumstances change. Number 2. Learn to communicate. Discuss your budget and what you can really afford with your family members. If you want to achieve financial success and freedom, you'll need everyone's support. Don't keep secrets since this will just worsen existing conflicts and future monetary difficulties. While you're trying to keep the books balanced, your spouse may be spending money without giving it much thought. It's possible that both of you might be buying the same things unnecessarily, and identifying who will be purchasing what is an important part of any budget to ensure that no unnecessary items are purchased. It is also essential to talk to your creditors if they contact you. You should watch what you say when communicating with third-party debt collectors acting on their behalf. Communicate with them only in writing and start with a debt validation letter. But don't ignore communication from your original creditors. Having a conversation with them about your financial difficulties will help you avoid many issues. Number 3. Make it harder to spend your money. Try to avoid using credit cards and use cash wherever you can. According to research, giving over cash and seeing it go physically hurts our emotions. Because of this, using cash to make purchases rather than a debt or credit card may significantly reduce your costs. On the other hand, using a credit or debit card seems less real than using cash since you aren't seeing your actual bills disappear. That's why it's so easy to mindlessly swipe a card and forget you even bought something. Try giving up your card and going on a cash diet if you're trying to keep to a strict budget. Just withdraw a certain amount of money each week or month and commit to using that amount alone. It could both encourage and help you to stay on track. Number 4. Use bonus money wisely. Most individuals who get a tax return consider it as found money and blow it on unnecessary indulgences. Every money you get, regardless of where it came from, should be considered income. Put this money in your written budget and treat it the same way you do the rest of your earnings, with caution. Even things like credit card rewards can be used for everyday purchases. If you can cash in rewards on a shopping site like Amazon, use that credit for regular, planned purchases. Don't use your rewards for extra things you don't need. Number 5. Get financial help if you need it. If you find yourself struggling to develop better spending habits, get help. You may obtain free debt counseling from a trained professional who can help you make a budget that works and deal with your financial problems. Before you give up on your objectives, discuss them in a private, confidential atmosphere and receive assistance creating a strategy for success in the future year. If you want to avoid paying for financial coaching, there are other ways to get the help you need. Professional debt coaching is available free of charge to help you create a workable budget and address your debt situation. There is nothing wrong with asking for help. This shows that you are determined to stop your bad spending habits and achieve your dream of financial freedom. That ends our list of bad spending habits and how to control them. Let us know in the comment section which of these bad spending habits you have and what you are willing to do to change them. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like. Also, click the subscribe button and notification bell for more videos like this. See you at the next one.